Hey guys, welcome back to our third webinar. So now we're gonna to get to know more about a gold exploration company that recently IPO'd, Rapture Mining. To have a full breakdown of the company, we're welcoming Richard Rivet, CEO, and John, journalist of the company. So for our viewers and attendees, you can see how the chat function to share your location, as we always love knowing where everyone is from. And for any questions you guys might have, use the Q&A function. You can ask questions prepared in advance or request deeper explanation during the presentation. We will handle these after Richard and John's presentation. So now I'm going to turn off my camera and let you guys take over, Richard and John, to introduce yourself and the company.
All right. Hi, folks. We're sitting here in Nestor Falls, Ontario. We're not in your typical office here. We're sitting in a cabin about 7 kilometers from our exploration property, and we've been in the field for about a month here. So we're not wearing suits; we're in t-shirts. So we'll tell you a little bit about basically gold and Rapture Mining. We've only been listed for a couple months. My background is. So this is my third, basically, we just IPO'd 2 months ago. This is my third company. I originally started with Kings Bay Gold, formed that one with me and Ewan Downey. He's now with I-80. We took that one public in 2002. We raised our money at 10 cents. We reached 98 cents on opening day. It never went below 50 cents for 5 years. So all our shareholders did very well. I did another one in 2002 called Mainstream Minerals. That one did the same thing again. Raised our money at 10 cents. We had 92 on opening day. I was there for about 3 years on that one. That one's now owned by Sean Zubik. It's called it's an energy company now in uranium. So radio fuels energy is what it's called. So and there we are now. We just basically IPO'd here. There's only 22 million shares issued. 7 million shares are in the hands of insiders. So, looking good there. I have 14 million warrants. We did a small IPO. We only raised $300,000 at 15 cents. And our stock hit 35 cents in the first couple of days. We're sitting at 22 cents right now. So all our shareholders are in the money. In the first 2 months, we've raised $260,000. 160 of it was exercise of warrants at 15 cents. And raised a quick $20,000 in hard and a little bit of flow through. So we're sitting right now at about 750,000 in cash in the till. The structure is very tight, so we're looking good. We have 2 properties. The first one is in the Rainy River area, about 30 kilometers from the new gold Rainy River mine. We've got 236 claim units for 10,000 acres. It's basically we're reviving the old Lake of the Woods gold rush that happened in 1894. Our property has 18 mine shafts on it, some visible gold, a lot of parallel zones. Our highest results so far in our sampling at over 200 grams per ton gold. Easy access with the highway crossing the entire length of the property. Same with the power line also too. First Nations, we're very close with them too. We have 2 on our board. We have Jason Wilson. Jason used to be the advisor for the Prime Minister of Canada, Jacques Chrétien, and also for the Grand Chief at Treaty Number 3. And he was also the guy in charge of all land disputes with the federal government. So we're well connected with First Nations. We also have Michael Birch on our board. Michael started the First Nations buying group way back. He was the youngest at 18 years old. He received an award from Asper School of Business. He was the youngest millionaire Aboriginal in Canada. So he's on our side too. Even some of our investors, we have Elijah Harper's son on our team. We also have a drilling company that's close to us, about 17 kilometers away. So the First Nations owns their own drill. So we're going to be using them. But we also have our own small drill also. As we're doing right now, we're basically in an exploration program now. We're doing a lot of surface sampling. Like I said, there's 18 mine shafts. So it's not just one shot here. There's a lot of shots. And that's basically where we're at now. And we have a little drill on site. We don't even need permits for that drill. It's small. But it's there to quickly test veins if we want to. So we're in a beautiful position right now. Maybe I'll let you introduce yourself now, John, since I took most of your time here. Go ahead.
Thank you, Richard. My name is John Archibald. I'm a PGO working with the company since its inception, and I've had previous experience on this property back in 2017 with another company that we'd done some drilling, and of course we had success on 9 of the 10 holes we drilled, but they decided to move on. So I got in touch with Richard on this one, and the rest is history. We hope to make this a successful exploration project and develop and create a resource on it. Again, we're seeing a lot of potential and high-grade samples coming out of the showings we have. We have at least 6, and in fact, in the last month, we found 3 others. So, and ones that I don't think have been explored or even sampled yet. So again, we're finding a lot just by getting out in the bush and being the path through the bush. We have a program instituted for this year, roughly, well, we haven't decided on the exact amount yet, but we're coordinating with this drilling that Richard talked about, drilling off the smaller showings, the smaller veins, trying to determine really the character of the rock, the geology of the rock, the structure of the rock. It's a structural situation. We are finding a lot of quartz carbonate and quartz veining coming off of porphyries into the volcanics. The property, as Richard said, was a very old one. Dates back to 1898 to 1903 when they did the major work, and then they all rushed off to the Klondike Gold Rush. So the Kenora Gold Rush died at that time.
In 1897, yeah.
1897. But, this one saw work back in the 80s, late 80s. Wasabi Minerals looked at it and drilled a bit, and I actually came upon the information, the assessment files, and decided that it needed another look at. Didn't get any work until 2017 at that point, and now we're back at it to 2023-24. Again, right now we are working on one showing called the Combined, and it's had some work on it. As Richard said, there's at least 18 shafts, probably 12 of them are on this Combined, and it looked like they high-graded the situation, or at least followed the veining, which was designated basically as flat-lying veins, and that's what we drilled for back in 2017. Looking at it a little bit, stepping back, we're seeing vertical veins now, which we missed in that drilling, and I think are the late-stage veining that brought in the gold. We're sampling some on surface now with our little drill. We have these results out, which we expect some results later, probably this week, from our first batch. And we're finding that this thing extends far off the main showing that they call it Combined. The Combined really, in the historicals and in the assessment files, shows that there's about 240,000 tons of drill inferred resource, grading about 0.3 of an ounce per ton. That was by Nelson and Bray back in 1980, and it's been documented. But they did take 60 tons up to Kenora back in the early days. They did get a mill test, a bench test done back in 1904 on this 60 tons, and they got a grade of 0.33 ounces per ton. So a third of an ounce, and that was just from hand-picking samples and barging it up to Kenora at the time. There was no highway. As Richard says, there's a highway cuts through the property. There's a high voltage power line crossing the property. In fact, 2 power lines. We have infrastructure as in trails and old timber trails. We have lake access to part of our property, and we're situated basically like, I feel, another Hemlo. Things actually cross the highway, under the highway, and if we're successful, we may become another Hemlo, I feel. It's an exciting time. Gold prices are up. Our values on the samples coming back are very high. We have to make some kind of basically an idea of what's really happening to the structure. And I believe there's a property-wide structure or several structures across the property that will carry gold and will hold up. We need to get some drilling done. Certainly need to do and rejig the old geophysics, the airborne mag, and we want to do some ground surveys as well, close into some of the showings to see exactly what's happening. There's a lot of magnetics that are giving us some deleterious directions. I'm not indicating deleterious really, but it's offset to the general strike of the geology. So there may be some more structure in there, east-west structure as well as north-south structuring that crisscross through here. Who's to say? We will be checking these and exploring them and sampling them. Luckily, we do have a lot of road cut rock, which we've started to sample, and we've had some success in doing some geology along it and sampling. Getting some values where nobody actually had gotten values before. And this is all this year. This is new. So again, we feel we're in the right ballpark, and where there's fire.
Yeah, we've taken, 200 samples so far.
That's right.
And 86% of our samples are carrying gold. That's very encouraging.
Now, mind you, those are hand-picked, hand specimens or grab samples.
Grabs, yeah.
But we're getting core now. We're going to be sampling the core right on through, because gold's one of those funny metals that end up in units that you don't expect it. And wherever you have fracturing, a little bit of sulfidation, a little bit of alteration, things like that, you could have VG. You could certainly have gold values. So again, we're not going to leave any stone unturned. Again, we're in a good camp. We're in the volcanic belt that hosts the Cameron Lake deposit, which is about a 1.8 million ounce deposit on the far eastern side of the belt. And then it stretches up along Pipestone to the Dubensky and Dogpaw, the McLennan, the Angel Hill, and then it wraps around and comes down our side on the west side along the highway. And again, there's been very little history and very little evidence of long-term work. So this is why we're over on this side. We do have part of that Cameron Lake structure come through on an east-west trend, and we feel we're on the right target. Anyway, I'll give it back to Richard.
Yeah, we also have another property also too, called the Greens. It's located close to the Greenstone Equinox mine in Geraldton, Ontario. They've just poured their first bar, I believe, last week. So they're sitting on the southern border of town. We're sitting with 2,800 acres on the northern border of town. We picked up the richest mine in the area. So we've got the old Hutchison Maylac mine, which had the highest grade in the area. So there's been 19 mines over there. It's a gold camp, is what it is. Just not a place where there's gold. It's a gold camp. You know, there's been a lot of mines there. So we're looking forward to that one too. But coming back here to the to our Phillips Township property, there's really there's really four big occurrences that we're really hot on. You have the combined mine, which basically it has four main veins, three steeply dipping so far, and one large flat-lying vein up to 50 feet thick. So basically, right now, this sitting like a big blanket there, a quartz structure there, about 550 feet by 750 feet, and it's 50 feet thick. But now we found some vertical veins in that thing too. In 2017, they hit two echelon zones below, stack units below. They hit 5.5 meters, again, flat line again, of 12 grams, and another one, a meter of 2 ounces. So that's got to be followed up, you know. So that's one there. Our Young Bay occurrence, we're going to jump on that one next. We've already did some sampling on it. We're waiting for results. Very encouraging occurrence. It contains 6 parallel veins. There's visible gold there. There's separated by 30 meters of low ground following the same strike direction as the vein, which we can follow for 260 meters in strike length so far. It has 3 shafts and pits. What's nice there is they they took out the shaft's down to 3.7 meters. They took out 8 tons of material, and the grade was 25 ounces per ton. We went there. We've only taken about 4 or 5 samples. We're going back now. Our highest grade we got was 7 ounces. So we're going to need to revisit this. It's a really exciting one. We also have the Trojan mine too on our property. It's got 7 sub-parallel gold-bearing quartz veins, 5 to 8 feet wide, that can be followed along strike for 270 meters, also in strike length. It has 4 shafts, 4 surface pits, and numerous trenches. Easy access. It's 150 meters off the highway. We just found a new 8-foot vein also too. The Mascot mine is basically on the other side of the highway, another 250 meters on the other side. That one's got 2 parallel veins. It's a main shaft down to 90. There's an adit there. So those are pretty encouraging properties. So it's not just one shot. There's 18 mine shafts there. So multiple shots at success. Anything else, John?
Well, I was going to say, just south of us, 40 kilometers, is the new gold operation, the Rainy River operation. And again, that was found recently. It's one of Ontario's newest mines, up and running. And of course, they're looking for ore and mill feed right now. So we're in a nice spot. If we do find some resource here, we're certainly on the highway and easy access. And again, we could sell some of our product down there. So we're not looking at getting into the mining side of it right now, but certainly in the future, it bodes well for sending concentrates down there. Again, just north of us, a couple of 100 kilometers is Red Lake, and then Treasury Metals over near Dryden. First Mining, the Cameron Lake. I mean, we're in a field of producers in Northwest Ontario that have got some length, strength, and certainly a lot of tonnage. And we're looking at probably being the next big strike in this area.
Yeah, and there's also Dryden Gold, not that far from us also too. So there's a Tartesson nickel deposit just north, maybe 8-9 kilometers north of our property too.
And Golden Dynasty.
Golden Dynasty is all in the area. So, yeah, there's a lot of companies in the area, so it's becoming a very good area. People are starting to understand it. So I think we'll do very well there. And our area where we're at is called the Snake Bay volcanics, right, John?
Snake Bay volcanic situation.
So it's squished between what, 4 big granite batholiths, or
at least 4 big granite batholiths, the Nolan Lake and the Olno, and so on. So again, it's a very prolific belt. There are a lot of great showings here, high grade showings, nothing major except for the Cameron Lake so far, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be found. Yeah,
but you got 8 million ounces at the new gold mine, about 30 kilometers south of us, on the same way on Highway 71. So it's good infrastructure there for if we decide that we're going to production. Or mine was sitting on surface. There's a lot of stuff sitting on surface, John, right?
Well, that's right. They finished with the open pit now. They're just going underground. But again, they're, I think, 26,000 tons a day, their mill. So they need to feed a lot of feed through that to keep it going. Again, they've got 7 or 8 years, and they're just starting new exploration now because they need more mill feed. So again, they were in the mine production mode, but at this point, they're going to expand their exploration.
Yeah, so what people can expect from Golden Rapture here in the coming weeks and months is we started exploration here. We're here to stay now. We're probably going to raise a little bit of more money as we need, but we don't need it now. So we're going to continue our sampling program, and like I said, our drill is here, ready to go. We started 1 hole already. We're into the quartz already, so well mineralized. So we'll see what happens there. So you can expect some sampling results from 4 different areas coming up very shortly here, and some drilling results as we go. So it should be a very exciting year, lots of action. And I think that's about ends our presentation here.
Well, I just want to mention one thing. If you see this map here, it's on our website. I think it's the cover page, and really it's the residual magnetic map that John Ryder put together for us, and it shows the magnetic trends through our property. And at this point, it looks like a lobster claw to me, an upside down lobster claw, but it shows a lot of trending.
Mhm.
We do have magnetic gabbros. The volcanics are magnetic, and it looks some of the intrusives in there are being pinpointed and highlighted. So that's just what we're really concentrating our work around, these intrusive bodies. That seems to be the area the gold seems to reside in.
Yeah, so we're not just looking for your typical anomaly that we can't see. You know, we have veins on the surface up to 20 feet wide. So, you know, a lot of 8 foot, 5 foot, 8 foot, all over the place. So, you know, a lot of surface targets that are ready to go right now. You know, and we've already tested a lot of them and a lot of high grades. So, you know, so it's very interesting here. So this is where we're at right now.
So keep an eye on us.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys. It was lots of information, very detailed. We appreciate it. We got lots of questions coming in regarding drilling samples. And the first question coming in is from Bobby Hawk, and he's asking how much is the drilling in the area, and if you could compare it to the competitors.
Pardon me, how much is the drilling?
Mm-hmm.
You would call it talking about price?
Yeah.
Okay, well, drilling in this area is roughly $120 a meter. Again, it's gone up recently with everything else and commodity prices, but that seems to be the price that's sticking around here. And it depends on who you get and what kind of a program you're running. You can probably shave that down a bit, but
That's very low cost, though.
it's fairly low cost. I've seen costs up in McFolds and the lowlands go to $600 a meter, but that's all in with camp and geology and sampling, everything included. But at this point, we're trying to keep our costs down. We do have some affiliation with the First Nations drill company right now, which we're going to get some of our heavier drilling, and that's roughly our price.
Our cost of exploration right now, of drilling anyways, what a little drill is, I'd probably say probably the lowest in the industry in Canada right now.
Okay. Also, you guys already showed lots of results thanks to grab samples, right? And Andrew Jones is asking how many samples you guys think will be sent to the labs during the exploration season.
Well, that's hard to say. It depends on what phase we're in. Again, like Richard said, we've sent about 200 in so far this season since we started a month ago. Again, throughout the season, if we get into drilling mode, and I stress that we need to sample every meter of core, because again, we don't want to leave any stone unturned. So that'll mean for every meter, 3,000 meters, where, you know, there's that many samples.
Yeah, and we even sampled rocks that we knew wouldn't carry anything. Like we even sampled bull quartz, you know, just to see what was happening. And still, like I said, 86% of the samples carry gold. You know, where you think you're not going to get any results, you get some quartz, it runs good gold. So it's very impressive so far.
The one thing I must mention, though, there is VG, visible gold, seen, and a lot of it is very, very micron small in size. And I suspect some of the samples we've taken that don't look mineralized at all do carry. And we have a number of rock piles making up a lot of that tonnage I talked about, that 240,000 tons, sitting on surface, which can be mini bulk sampled, bench tested, and so on. We need to do some metallurgical study on it just to see how we're going to get this free gold out of the rock. The main component to that, to the mineralization, is pyrite, and it seems to be free milling at this point. So I don't think we're going to see any metallurgical problems at a mill.
Yeah.
But that's, again, I'm not a millman, so it's my best guess.
And we're well prepared if we start hitting some very interesting intersections, some very high grade gold. We've hired 4 marketing firms, you know, across Canada here. We got Departures Capital in Vancouver. We got Gorilla Capital in Toronto. We got Second City Capital Media, you know, and we got Market Smart Communications. So we're well loaded up here for some action. You know, without marketing nowadays, you can have good results. Like some of these companies I'm seeing, no marketing, you're dead. So we're well looked after there. So I think our future looks pretty good for us.
Okay, thank you. And still about the mineralization, could we expect some, I'm going to call them surprises, let's say, could we expect to see silver or nickel or let's say copper, or in the previous samples, did you guys see anything else than gold?
Yes, we did. I have to sort of back up and say part of the geology here with the gabbros and the peridotite, we have potential for finding nickel, copper. We have seen a fair bit of chalcopyrite. Again, a lot of it's associated with gold, just like Shabugamu and the chalcopyrite there. The peripheries of the property, we're really concentrating on the gold showings right now. But again, as the program progresses, we need to look at all aspects and all parts of the property.
You've even seen cobalt bloom on some parts of our property, John.
That's right. That's right. Around the peridotite. So again, the potential is there. There is always a little bit of silver in with the gold, but not a lot. The gold seems to be very consistent and very pure. Again, like a lot of the showings in this area, and Noranda did a lot of work on it in the past on these high-grade showings. They were going to put a gold mill in years ago and mine a lot of these little showings because they're very high grade, but not a lot of tonnage. Again, we're looking outside those envelopes, outside the quartz veining, and we're finding sulfides 2, 3, 4 feet wide beyond the veining, and we're going to be sampling those because I suspect it may be lower grade, but there'll be gold in that, in the sulfides.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the answer. We also have some financial questions as well, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be more you, Richard, who's gonna answer this one. Could you tell us? Jackson is asking this question: how much insider ownership do you have?
Actually, 23 million shares right now issued. The 7 million that's in the hands of insiders. Okay, so that leaves whatever it is, 15 million. But I would say that half of our shareholders don't even have brokers accounts because most of our shareholders have never invested before. There's only 250 shareholders in the company right now, and like I said, yeah, most of them don't even have accounts open yet. So the stock is going to be very tight for now.
Thank you. We have another question still about shares financials from Breeze. He's asking what are the exercise price of the outstanding warrants.
Yeah, so basically you got 14 million warrants at so we raised our money at 10 cents, our original money. We oversubscribed our private placements, and then we did our IPO at 15 cents, and then the warrant at 20. So yeah, so we're sitting there in a beautiful position, but the warrants are at 15, so the 15 cents, but there's 14 million of those. We put those there on purpose, anticipating that people will exercise them. That would give us more money in the till as we went, along the way, and it's already working. We've received $160,000 already in warrants at 15 cents already, and if we could leave, stock's at 22 cents right now. If we could continue leaving our stock at least 22 or 25 cents, we could end up with $2 million in cash just with those warrants. So we're planning on that, and that's what we want to achieve that. So.
Thank you. Now moving forward, we have a question from Oriol Ignacio for the long run. So the question is, what is the long-term plan to increase current resources?
Well, basically, we're going to keep exploring. Keep exploring right now like we're doing. We're waiting for some stuff coming back from the lab. We've got 4 different batches that are at the lab right now that we're waiting for. So there'll be all 4 different news releases coming out. And we got our little drill here. It can drill to a depth of 150 meters. So we're ready to rock here. So we're in control. We're independent. We don't even need permits for a little drill like that. So we're ready to rock.
I think basically what you were asking was we're going to assess each of the showings, the occurrences, and decide, exactly what the characterization is. At that point, then we can design the program to follow up to depth what the showings are telling us and where the gold is headed for. We're just trying to figure out at what depth and where it's headed. And for that, then we can design the drill program, we can design the ground surveys and so on, and the future sampling program to find a reserve or a resource, basically from each of the showings. None of them have really been drilled. The combined is the only one that's had a drill on it, and the maximum depth on that was a couple of 100 feet, the deepest hole. Most of them are around 100 feet, just to chase this flat vein. Like we said, we found at least 3 vertical veins now, which really have not been touched. And if that is what I call the juice that's bringing up the hydrothermals for the gold, then we need to cross-cut those things and see what they mean. And I believe they're stacked, they're en echelon. So we may have a number of them we haven't even seen, because there's a lot of ground cover in there, a lot of overburden cover. And the property is probably 60% covered with either lakes, swamps, overburden, and so on. So they've really only touched the hilltops. And at that point, as you got to remember, I mean, they explored back in 1900, 1903, and followed their noses. They didn't have the drills, the technology, and so on to look deeper. So we do have it, and we expect to use those tools.
Thank you. Now we have a question actually from somebody who invested in the early deal of the company, Bobby Hawk, and he's asking when we are expecting some results from the samples you guys sent to the laboratory, or if you could give at least a timeline.
We just got an email a couple of days ago from the lab, and we're expecting results this week.
Yes. So as soon as we evaluate those, we'll get a press release out and let the shareholders know.
Yeah, the first batch had 61 samples. They look hot. They're all really well mineralized, and past samples before in the past, I think as long as you had a little bit of mineralization, you were in quartz, you got good numbers. These things, they're heavily mineralized and beautiful quartz. So I think we're going to get some really decent results here.
So still from Bobby Hawk, he's also asking if you would consider selling off parts of the property or engaging in earning agreements over time.
We're open for an agreement, and we're actually talking to somebody right now on our Hutchison Maylac mine in Greenstone there. We're actually in negotiations for that. But they would, for the right offer, we're always listening.
Thank you. So we're almost gonna run towards our 4th webinar, but before we end with this one, I think it would be great if you guys could say again what are the company's highlights and strength, and what investors could look forward in the future.
You got a tight trading company, only 22 million shares out, 7 million shares in the hands of the insiders. You got 14 million warrants. We also have we're well funded, as most people, not everybody's aware. We also have a $5 million equity drawdown sitting back waiting for us that we can utilize anytime we want at market. So this is not a debt equity, it's a private placement at market value, and we got a $5 million equity drawdown there whenever we want to use it. So we're looking good there. I got about 750 in the till right now. We can raise more if we want. We got two beautiful properties, close to operating mines. Easy access, parallel zones, high grade gold, visible gold, low cost of exploration. Really good board of directors, and a good future to look forward to.
Remember, Rick, we also have some of the institutional buyers, the big buyers, looking at us too. Eric Sprott and Rob McEwen, and even First Mining are asking me, at times, how's the program going? So I know we're being watched by some of the bigger funding or funds, and certainly some of the majors, if we get some excellent results in here, they'll be knocking on the door as well. So that's always boding well for a small junior.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you, Richard and John, for the detailed presentation. It was very informative. Obviously, looking forward to reading your news release and everything else. Thank you again for attendees as well. And now we're gonna move towards our fourth webinar, which is about Togvan Ventures. Thank you guys again.
One more quick thing, Mark. I'm one of the CEOs that my phone is always on. So anybody wants to reach out to me, even when I'm in the field, 780-729-5395. The phone is always on.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Good.